Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll be making a sardine bread. Now this is very tasty and easy to make. Let's make this together. First thing I'll be doing is to measure out my flour. I'm using all-purpose flour for this. Next, I'll be adding in my sugar. Now, I don't like my stuffs too sugary, so if you like more sugar, you can add sugar, like you can add as much as you want, but this is my own measurement, which I'm going to leave out for you. I'm also going to add milk to this. Milk is going to make this taste very nice. I actually like it. Like when I have milk, I love to work with milk. Also, I'll be adding salt to this. I also added instant yeast to this. In the video where I made puff puff, I told you guys about instant yeast. Like you don't need to activate this separately before you add into your flour. All right, so you just need to add it directly into your flour and it makes the work easy for you. Now the next thing I will do is to go ahead and mix this. I'm going to give this a proper mix before I add in the rest of my ingredients. Now I'm going to leave the measurements to all of what I'm doing for you. So after watching, you can go ahead and check the description box to get the accurate measurements to everything that I used in this video. I'm just going to show you how to go about it to make this easy bread, right? Bread is not a big deal. It's not difficult to make. And towards the end of this video, I'll tell you guys something. Now I'm going to go ahead and prep my sardine. I'll be using both the fish and the oil, yes, because this is actually sardine bread and I want this to also taste like sardine bread and smell like sardine bread. So I'll be using the oil. And you guys, I measured everything that I used here so that if you do what I did, you're going to arrive at the same result that I got. Now I'll also be adding vegetable oil to this. In place of vegetable oil, you can use your butter. Okay, you can use butter. The next bread video I'll be bringing up, I'll be using butter to make that, and then you will see the difference between vegetable oil and butter. Not much difference, but I'll tell you guys in that video. Turn on your post notification bell so that you get notified when I post that video, and also you should subscribe to my channel. You should also like this video and share this video. Yes, share it to everybody. Make this video go viral, right? Share it to everybody on your contact list. Yeah, let's just go ahead. Next thing I will do is to add in my water, and the water I'll be using for this is warm water. I'm using warm water because I have yeast in here, and what helps yeast to rise, what helps it to activate is warm water. So I'll be using warm water for this. I'll go ahead and mix it very well, mix properly before I walk in with my hands. Now, if you don't spread your flour, if you don't spread flour on your working table, you are going to have a messy environment. Like everything is going to stick, it will be sticky. Okay, so you want to, before you even transfer this to your workstation, transfer it to your work table, you want to sprinkle flour all over, right? And then as you mix, you want to always touch flour. Just see what I will be doing in this video. I took time to knead this. I did it for about 15 minutes, about 10 to 15 minutes, just to have a very stretchy bread, because I needed to make something that is stretchy, just like agege bread, like something that is very, very stretchy. That was what I was aiming to achieve. And yes, I actually achieved that. So I knead this for a very long time. I said I knead it for 15 minutes, right? That's actually helped my bread to be stretchy. And then, as you can see, while kneading, I always sprinkled flour so that this is not going to stick. It's not going to stick to the table. Now I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of oil to this. That actually helped my bread from being too sticky. Yeah, it actually helped my bread, like my dough is actually coming together very, very well. And the oil also helped very, very well. Remember, there is no butter in here, and then the oil I added earlier was not too, like, it wasn't enough for this, so I just need to add more oil to it while kneading like this, and it's helped a whole lot. So I'll just go ahead and knead this. I will keep doing this until I feel like my bread is my dough is very, very soft and stretchy. That's the point. It has to be stretchy because of what I am trying to achieve at the end of the day. You guys, this is my first bread video. Like, this is actually my very first time baking bread. This is my first time baking bread, and I'm doing it without an oven. So you want to rate me, like, watch this video to the end and rate me. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you think I tried. Tell me if this bread actually looked nice. And yes, you know what to do now. Drop it in the comment section. Tell me what you think about this video. It is my first video, my first time baking bread, and I actually came out with something very, very nice. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up, keep it warm, and I left it for about 30 minutes, right? It's very important because we are trying to give our yeast time to rise. We're trying to prove it, so we're going to leave it there. Now, while the bread is resting, I'm going to go ahead and work with my sardine. So I'll bring out my sardine and then I'll try to, like, pieces everything, I'll crumb everything, because that is what we will be using. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that. Now, this is my bread after 15 minutes. This is what I have. You can see, guys, that at least it's not okay, it didn't double in size, but it increased in size. So I'll just go ahead and cut this into the sizes that I want, and I'll add in my sardine. All right, just watch what I'll do. Now I'm going to grease my pan using my vegetable oil, and this is very important because if you grease it very well, after baking you can easily bring out your bread. Okay, this is my cake pan and that is what I have available. That is what I'll be using. But guys, I must say this pan is actually very, very small for what I'm doing. Yes, and the outcome of my bread, actually, like, it was all over my bread that I used a very small pan. It was telling all over my bread. I used a very small pan. That was actually what I had. If I had something bigger, I would have used that. And also, if I think the bread actually took me on our way because it's my first time, so I didn't know it's going to rise that much, right? So I think next time if I want to use the same pan, I want to use the same measurements of flour that I use. I'm going to do something smaller for the small pan. Now bread is, I think this is going to be a very lucrative business, so guys it's going to be a very lucrative video because I use just a cup of flour, very small amount of things, and look at the whole thing was just everywhere. It was so big, like my pan, just it was my pan that actually stopped the rising, because this was actually going to look bigger and very, very fine, but my pan was too small for it. Now I went ahead to add in sardine into all of these breads, and then the next thing I did was to use egg. I rubbed egg all over it, right? I sprinkled egg, I rubbed it with my brush all over, and then I went ahead to put in sardine as well on the on top of my bread, and I will cover it again. Remember, I left it for 15 minutes before, right? I'm going to cover it again and leave it for 30 minutes this time around, because normally when I work with yeast, I like to leave it for 45 minutes to rise, to prove very well. I leave my yeast for 45 minutes. So the first one, I left it for 15 minutes. Now that it's in the pan, I'm going to leave for 30 more minutes. Now this is what it looks like after 30 minutes. Guys, look at, like, it's almost all over the pan right now. It's almost full. So you can imagine when this thing will now start cooking again. Just imagine, I used a very small pan and that actually stops the growth of this bread. Don't mind me. Okay, now because I'm not baking this, I'm going to show you how to do your cake or your bread or whatever without having to bake it, right? If you don't have pan, if you don't have oven, if you don't have an oven, no problem. Let's bake without it. So I'm going to just get my pots, get a clean pot, and then you must not use sardine cover, like use anything at all that you know can actually hold it. You can actually place your pan on it, and then you add salt. Just make sure that you fill the pot with salt. You're not putting plenty salt, just down, put salt everywhere. And then I'm going to place my inside and cover this, and then you want to bake on a low heat. Now I baked for 30 minutes because the gas could not even reduce to what I wanted. I was using an automatic gas, so I could not even reduce it to what I wanted, right? So that is the medium heat I talked about. So medium heat, I baked for 30 minutes. But if you're using something like a cam gas or any other gas that can actually reduce it to the lowest, like a very, very small flame, then you can bake for 45 minutes. Okay, but once you're baking this and it gets to 25 or 30 minutes, open it and check how it is. Okay, don't just leave it in the pan waiting till 45 minutes before you check. You may end up burning your bread. So that's what you should do. Now after baking, this is what I have. This bread is still hot. Once it gets cold, you're still going to love it. This bread is still hot. Like, just look at how beautiful. Just look at how beautiful and nice this sardine bread looks, and it tastes so good as well. You guys, that is it on how to bake your bread. What do you think about my bread? Leave it in the comment section for me. Like this video and share this video. I'll see you in my next video.